Hi there, this is Jenny Seek from Inner Voice Intuitive Tarot Guidance Counseling and Readings. I'm working on updating some of my content on my YouTube channel and wanting to share with you a reading today. We have some really heavy-duty energies coming up in the next few, about 10 days. We've gone through an Aries cycle. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac, and it is the restless child. So this energy is very, very ambitious. It's very much a go-getter, doesn't like to listen to authorities very much. We're seeing this on the global scene a lot right now. We've seen this in different social venues for sure. But it's also very cavalier energy. It's very bold energy. And we're all feeling this inside to a certain extent. Also, we're in Cancer season, and Cancer kind of has energies that are very, very self-care oriented. So it's super duper important when we're amped up with this very, very, I'll say angry, for lack of a better word, energy, very volatile energy in ourselves, to do immediate self-care work, to really, really honor the things that we're passionate about, that make us feel centered, that help us feel grounded in our lives. And so I'm going to offer a reading about how to handle all of this conflicting energy in self and what anger is really here to do. In metaphysical communities, anger gets a really, really bad rap. Anger is an evaluative state, right? It's an opportunity to recognize what it is we're feeling and what it is we're needing, and how to balance those energies, how to heal that extra volatile, traumatic energy that comes up to be recognized and healed, and then how to push through and do things that empower us. On this channel, I'm going to talk really candidly about what's important to me. Not everybody has the same opinion right now, and we're in a very, very polarized state right now. But I want people to come here and find this and feel a home in this space. Right now, we are seeing what's called a slow rolling coup. These people have taken over the government, and they're slowly, slowly indoctrinating their voices into our media, into our legal system, and they're really, really making us come to a place in ourselves where we're really having to assert our core values. We're really having to know for ourselves what is true. So I invite each of you to check in and figure out what it is you authentically and honestly know about what you believe is true in the world. And we're being asked right now, of course, if we're faced with someone who has oppositional energy, oppositional information, lack of truth, lack of details, has been indoctrinated into alternative media sources that are not, checked out. We can't expend our energy there. We're just, if you've ever read Dr. Seuss, the North going Zacks and the South going Zacks, we're not going anywhere. We're just butting heads. But in a social arena, it's super important that you look around for these people who are probably very traumatized themselves in some ways, who have gotten information that is not right and is not it is not reasonable, and they've gotten worked up in the space of this information because they have attached to something, maybe from their childhood. Maybe it's a traumatic response. Here in this environment, I'm going to talk about trauma responses. It's my contention that we're all reacting in a place of PTSD in the face of what's happened in the last 3 years. First, we had Trump. Trump, like him or not, was really, really about making us question ourselves, making us question the actual legitimacy of our values, of our responses, of our truths, our internal truths. And he peppered the environment with a lot of support for voices that are not vetted. And when I say that, I mean, I'm not against this idea of alternative media. I listen to the Useful Idiots. I listen to Sam Seder. I really value media that is leftist media, that is not MSNBC, right? That offers different points of view, but it has to be vetted in something. And what happened was the algorithms got going so much that they were driving themselves. And so now people are just really caught in this bubble of their own making. So we're all being asked to go back and to check our sources, not check them with MSNBC, but check them with truth, what feels right to you, to move through the extra energy in you that makes you go off half-cocked, because we all have that half-cocked energy. I know I have it in the morning. And sometimes it's easy to attach to sources that aren't the best, that aren't vetted, that aren't thoughtful, that aren't well-researched, that don't have history or herstory to back them up. But I want to find a nice common ground between stuff that is truthful and stuff that really authors this place of the authentic self. So I'm going to start this reading with the idea that we've gone through this big Aries energy and we're still moving through it. And then on July 1st, which actually, July 1st. Is tomorrow. We're going to have Mars and Aries squaring Pluto. So Pluto is that big player that makes us have big impulsive actions, that makes us act out, that makes us attach to things really quickly. And in the face of Pluto, we can think we have something that's secure, and it can all just kind of go topsy-turvy very quickly, because Pluto is this reactive energy. It's energy that's been, if you will, sitting under the ground a long time and gaining steam, and it has to have a place to go. So tomorrow we're going to experience this energy in our lives individually and then collectively, but it is actually what we choose to do with this energy that is the indicator of how this energy gets expressed. So we're all being asked to be in safe situations where we feel safe, we feel heard, we feel valued, we feel loved, we feel connected. And then we're being asked to take all of this very volatile energy and channel it into something positive. So with that, I'm going to start this reading and we're going to see where we go. Thanks so much for finding me here on Inner Voice Intuitive. I do have to tell you, my numbers have been kind of going up and people have been finding the channel. We'll see what happens. Of course, I know all of this is an experiment, but I can't find a better thing to do right now with my time than try to give it back to you guys and try to spread some wisdom and some clarity and some purpose and be out there and help you feel not so lost in the world. Lord knows, sometimes I feel lost, but when I feel heard and connected to tribe, I feel better. So this is my offering to you. Okay. So I'm going to do what I do when I read cards for clients. I'm going to shuffle them. I'm going to mix them up. I'm going to put them in 3 piles. And I'm going to feel each pile and see which one has the energy that we're asking about, this very activating energy that's coming into our sphere, right? And it feels like the left pile has the energy to me. So I'm going to lay out the spread and I'm just going to go through each card and I'm going to channel the energies and light of wisdom of the universe. We have Justice, crossed by the 9 of Cups, before the Queen of Cups, under the Ace of Cups, lots of emotional energy. Followed by the Ace of Swords, followed by the Devil. That, we'll talk about that. It's not bad. It's just volatile, right? Followed by the 5 of Swords, followed by the 10 of Swords, followed by the 4 of Cups, followed by the King of Pentacles, and crossed by the Knight of Cups. Okay, so we're going to start here We have the Justice card. How apropos is that? The Justice card is about finding what feels truthful and meaningful to you. And this can be a really, really hard task when we're bombarded with information that is about selling to us, about galvanizing our energy toward opportunistic endeavors, right? We have to sit with what feels true to us and figure out not only what feels true, but feels like too much and what feels right. Because when we have all of this energy that just plowing in at us all the time, it's easy to get scattered and attached to things that aren't good and aren't right and aren't true and aren't in our highest interest. And unlike a lot of metaphysical practitioners who will tell you that you should always pink cloud it, that you should always look at the positive, yes, you should look at the positive always. By the end of the day, you should be able to search out the 3 things that were the best in the day that started to shift the energy for yourself. But this doesn't mean gaslighting yourself, right? This doesn't mean not paying attention to your feelings about things, because your feelings are your inner guidance system and they tell you what you need to do for your own self-care. And so we have to check those things. Do I feel like this is true? Do I feel like this is authentic? Is this how I want to use my energy? Is this helpful? Is this wise? Right? All those beautiful Socratic questions. And with the major arcana of justice, we're being asked to really grapple with what is right and what is right for everyone. And I'm going to be really honest on this channel. We have 30% of Americans right now running roughshod over everyone's rights, over everyone's civil rights. And this happened because we allowed people to take over the court who have very extremist views, who would like to see a religious theocracy in this country. And that isn't what we're founded on. Our brothers and sisters, our historical brothers and sisters, did not found this country on a theocratic notion or idea, did not found this country on legalistic beliefs. This country was founded by religious deists. You can look it up if you'd like to. That's the truth. And with this justice card, this is about the fact that we are a democracy only when we speak up, only when we identify what is true to us. And so this gets me back around to this groups of people question, which I've been thinking of a lot. Yes, don't go to your most extreme zealotous neighbor and try to talk to them about this stuff. You're not going to have the impact that you want to have. But if you are in an environment where it looks like someone is genuinely confused, it looks like someone has been gaslit, it looks like someone is questioning what is true, make sure that you don't let something fly that isn't true. Speak up and through this silence. That is what this is going to require. Case in point, I remember back several years ago when I had a relative who was advocating for Kasich's, some of Kasich's policies. And Kasich was the one who gutted all of the policies that helped differently abled children. And she was going on and on about supporting Kasich. And I shut up. I didn't say anything. She was a relative, and I didn't want the flack. It only takes a moment to address these things, to have the information at the ready. No, actually, this was what Kasich supported. No, actually, we don't live in a theocratic culture. No, actually, 70 to 80% of Americans support Roe v. Wade. That's all you have to say. You don't have to discuss it any further. But you do have to drop that piece of information, because people who are questioning what is true gravitate toward the group. And in this clampdown around our civil rights, but not only our civil rights, now eroding church and state, the energy of church and state, there's going to be a sense of coercion around these kinds of questions. There's going to be people who are stepping out of line, who are praying in schools. I mean, I say, you want to pray in schools? Then pull out your pentagram, pull out your little cloth, if you're a Muslim, that you do your prayers on. Pull it all out, because we are a melting pot of all different kinds of people. That's a question to be determined. But we can't let this coercive, eroding state happen in our United States. We can't. And to all of those people who say that we have to, follow the parliamentarian, that we have to give away to the rules of law, the rules of, are they Stevenson's rules? I can't remember what they're called, but all of those sorts of rules. I say we've never been in this time in America. We've never had a small group of very, very right-wing zealots want to take over the government. And we need to do something different. We need to call them on their crap and call them quickly. So justice will help us do that. What it's crossed by is the Nine of Cups, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, your water energy, your emotional energy. Nines are about deepening the energy of the collective. Nines are about being able to step into something and step back from something, right? So when we become truth tellers in our lives, we have to step into something, but know when to step back out, right? So we with our leadership, give that piece of information that is so important to those people who maybe don't have accurate information about something, don't know the facts, have been gaslighted, have been traumatized, are reacting out of this traumatized space. And we need to drop in a sense of truth, a sense of support, a sense of grounding, a sense of love, really. And the Nine of Cups helps us to do this, helps us to connect with our emotional energies, helps us give back to the collective, helps us have a sense of playfulness as we're doing this, right? Life can't be all doldrum and climbing up a mountain. There has to be a lovely balance with partying and enjoying ourselves. And part of that is speaking our truth. If we're in this little arena where we're just pink clouding everything because we don't want to make anyone angry, we're acting out of a trauma response. Adults can handle information that isn't what they want to hear. And that's an inside job, right? To be able to handle that information. And that's why we have to do the self-care when we're in Cancer energies. But it's okay to state your truth loud and proud. That is what America is truly about. Okay, so your family of origin card, your firsts, your grounding energy. This is what is before. This is the first card. This is the formative energy. And this is the Queen of Cups, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. So I know that a lot of ladies I've talked to, and a fair amount of gentlemen too, are just really, really overwhelmed in this energy. And I know morning can be a time when a lot of things come flooding in. Let yourself experience that emotion. Let yourself move through it. Let yourself cry. Let yourself rant, let yourself have that like hissy fit kind of energy. This has never happened in this country before, and we don't know what's going to happen in this country. We are in a rolling situation with this, so allow yourself to feel your feelings. Don't squelch your own feelings. That's what you're here to do. You're here to deal with your feelings. You're here to honor the inner child in you, even if your family didn't. Right before the energy that is just moving away. This is the Ace of Cups, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. The cup of water runneth over. Cancer time is self-care time. It's time to make that wonderful meal. It's time to invite that core group of people that you haven't connected with in a long time and have that real conversation where you're actually exchanging energy. You're actually transforming and transmuting energy, and you come back new and empowered and powerful and loving and supported in the world. So this is the Ace of Cups. It's followed by the Ace of Swords. Right action, right logic. So in the Myers-Briggs, this is our air energy. This is our thinking energy. This is when we drop that piece of information on that person who might be trying to feel empowered by attaching to some sort of extreme identity in themselves that was maybe reinforced for them in a way that was out of control or a way that felt dangerous. It just takes saying that one thing in a loving way to take those people who are really, really out of bounds, or who are really not safe in themselves, and to reinforce that grounding instinctual space. There'll be the opportunity to do this in the next 6 to 7, 8 to 10 days. And I really encourage you to take it. I think of the song by, what is the guy's name? I'm not going to remember it, but Christmas in the Trenches, when World War I was going on. And they had the ability to stop the war, and they all played a game of kickball. And they did that because they knew that people needed to heal, and people needed to be people around all of this stuff that's coming in. They needed to be able to let go and connect in a deeper way, and connect in a more loving way. And that everything can't be legalism and politics, and everything can't be getting it right. That truth comes in the place of playfulness and in the place of support with others. And that's when it's heard. That's where leadership works. Moving into the future, so this is 6 months out. This is what we're facing, guys. This is the devil. The devil gets a bad rap in the tarot. It's really just Pan. This is about people who don't have love in their lives. And I would say at a core level, that's what we're looking at, right? When people are drawn to extreme zealotous groups, when they're looking for faith and purity and all of these kind of black and white 100% positive things in groups, they can fall sway to cultish ways. We have this going on. We have this going on in the metaphysical community here and now, in things like QAnon, in groups where one person tries to get to the top of it and control everyone. We're seeing this right now. And it's my contention that a lot of these big cultish groups have more in common and will try to overlap and support each other. And then I think of the energy of I can't think of it right now. This is what happens to me in the daytime. I'm better at night. But Caligula, or not Caligula, the thing with all the octopus arms, I can't think of it right now, that engulfs everything. It's this archetype of energy. And that's what's happening. We're being asked to abandon our simple inner knowing about what is good and what is right and what is livable. And these people are not happy people. These people are people who are trying to control everything inside themselves and outside themselves. They're not pitching toward this world. Amy Coney Barrett, the people on the court, Kavanaugh, they are not pitching toward this world. They're pitching toward the afterlife, because that's where they can get this world, where there's purity, where there's 100% obedience, where there are all of these lining up demarcations of truth that don't have any gray areas. They've gotten so small inside themselves that they have personified God into a being that expects immediate and exact perfection. They are projecting this back on themselves, and now they're projecting it onto the American people. Don't put up with it. Fight smart, fight wise, speak up. Use that 5th chakra to speak up and speak your truth into the world. Use that 2nd chakra, that sacral chakra, to connect with that belly energy, that laughter, that playfulness, that evocative quality. Use that 3rd chakra for your truth telling, to know what your will is, to know that this isn't something that you've chosen. All those things are okay. All of those things are necessary. So this is the environment, and this is the 5 of Swords, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, air energy. This is cut and run, or dig in and work harder. And that's right where we're at in America right now. We're being asked to really show up. I've been going to some of these demonstrations with a friend, and I've been trying to get her to go and trying to get people motivated, because these times are times that try everyone's souls. But if we don't show up, they can do more damage more quickly. These people are dinosaurs. They're dying out. That's the truth. This is an issue of Thanatos. They're afraid to die. That is what is going on. They're afraid of how to let go of this body, and they've concretized it so much that they've justified this action of acting out. They've justified anything that they want to believe is true. And this, I'm going to be honest, this energy is not an easy energy. This is a sticky, tricky energy. This is someone who has very low energy, and they want to foist it onto everyone. They want to be tricky. They want to be deceptive. They want to steal other people's energy. In some circles, this is called an energy vampire. So if you see this kind of behavior, don't confront someone in this situation, because they'll double down. They're better at it than you. They've been practicing a long time. But draw them into the group, connect with them energetically, help them feel whole, help them feel comfortable, help them feel grounded, but confront them. If they try to get you into this energy, just be strong in yourself, be strong in your truth, because that's what it's going to take to get out of this situation. Everybody looking inward and figuring out what's important, not zoning out on Instagram, not zoning out watching shows back to back, not zoning out on drugs or whatever your addictive energy is. And we've all got them. It's about doing the harder work, showing up for yourself, doing the loving things, and noticing when you're out of whack, noticing when you're out of balance, noticing when you're leaning into zoning out. This is the way people see the situation, and maybe your blind spot. 10 of Swords, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, air energy. These are times that we are called to be in. It can be overwhelming to the inner child part of ourself that we have to show up and be here and grow up and do the hard work. But we're here for a reason. We're here so that these people don't take over and don't erode the Constitution and don't erode the separation of church and state. And the 10 of Swords is about doing our purification, knowing that purification is about figuring out what is true, what is solid. I see this card, and this card I think is really a paradox, right? It looks like someone who's done for, someone who has given up. But this is in the time, these places of trauma, these places of what are often called the energy of Chiron, right? The energy of the wounded healer, where we are most vulnerable, where we crack open, the light gets in. And I see this person lying on their back, and these swords are going down into the center of their spine and reactivating all of their chakras, making them connect to the good work that we're here to do, revitalizing their energy, purifying their energy. That's the way that I read this 10 of Swords, because it is in times that try people's souls, times when we're fed up, when we don't have the answer, when we really are open to other ways, when we can get connected with the divine that lives in each of us. If we don't connect with the energy that compromises us, if we don't connect with the collective in the negative way, if we resist the negative energy, but recognize the wound, right? Recognize the space where we're broken, recognize the sadness, call it in, cherish it. It is what makes you human. And you can bet these people who are in the court are not connected with this, do not know the difference. And that is why they are concretizing it externally in the world and lining people up in these definitions of good and bad. And it's easy to do because it makes us feel righteous. Don't do it. Okay. This is your hopes and your fears. This is the Four of Cups, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, your water energy. I love this card. 4 is all about grounding. 4 is about, so if 3 is the divine, is the place where we cross over, and where we cross over from one idea to another idea, right? From duality to triune energy, to the third thing, it's called in Buddhism, to recognizing the divine in two oppositional things. Then we get to the fourth thing, the quaternity. And this is cups. So this is about recognizing those grounding, instinctual, simple things, Uranus and Taurus, that bring us back to center, that help us connect, that help us heal, that draw us all together as communities of people who care and who strive and who aren't giving up, and who go back to the simple place, the simple way, and recognize that everybody is doing that as well, and that we're really not isolated, and we're really not alone, that is an illusion, and that if we are, we do the self-care to get ourselves out of that place by speaking up and advocating for ourselves. Outcome card. King of Pentacles, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. Your earth energy, mastering earth energy, doing the things, getting up in the morning. I read a post about, if you're depressed, turn on the water, sit down in the shower, make yourself a nice meal. These are hard times. If we deny that, we deny our own humanity. These are hard times. But when we show up, we can help other people heal, because we don't know where they are internally. And we can offer our own connection with the energy of the divine. I think, like, often when we're most traumatized in our lives, that is when we are most open, and it's when we are most able to give back to someone who really needs healing. So it's that simplicity, it's that cracking open, it's that being present and vulnerable. And what's crossing this? I like to call this the sprout card, and in my tarot classes I call this the sprout card. This is the energy of the collective and the energy of new beginnings. It's the new beginning. Like if we were to lay the whole spread down with these cards as the final, the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end and the new beginning, because everything is circular. This is the Knight of Cups, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. It's really interesting to me how many cups there are in this reading, how much breaking open is happening. People are private at this time because they don't feel comfortable to air all their energies publicly, probably because of Trump, probably because of the isolation that happened with COVID, and maybe just a lot of people are introverts. But this energy here is about recognizing that this is the energy of the divine feminine, right? This is the energy of Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. This is what our culture is asking for, connecting with the energy of emotion, connecting with the energy of imperfection, connecting with the energy of the simple, sacred, maternal things that we all do. And when I say maternal, I don't mean female. I mean feminine, nurturing, receptive, fluid. We all have these archetypal energies within us. And the breaking open is about allowing ourselves to be imperfect, allowing ourselves to care, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. And that is what this Knight of Cups is asking for. And that's what this reading is asking for. I think out of 11 cards, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 that are cups, and cups are about emotion. And a lot that are big sword energies, which are about opportunity to connect emotionally with people. So keep your hearts open, but stay clear. Use that masculine energy to call out a lack of truth where you see it, to call it out, so that people who are confused don't get it wrong here and don't feel alone. If I can work with you at Inner Voice Intuitive Tarot Guides Counseling and Readings, it would be my joy to help you check in with your own energy, to help you shift energies, to help you tell your story intuitively, because that's what we're here for, and that's how we raise our energy, and that's how we get through these times. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye now.